myself right now. I'm going to turn on the music. Cleo, please be good. Oh, new recommendations? Okay, the music's on. Hello, everybody. I know it's been a while, but I just wanted to let you know that I have good news. Yesterday, I went to a Cultural Intifada event, and it was a place where a bunch of Palestinian vendors and other vendors and artists, radical artists, could share their artwork and promote peace and stuff. And I have a ton of literature, a bunch of zines, and I even have a digital library. And I am going to try and see if I can sign into. Oh, Cleo. Cleo, please. I'm going to try and see if we can sign into iCloud and show you some photos. So that's what I'm going to do. There we go. Photos. So, I don't know if I can pull up Instagram on here. Should I? Alright, so we're gonna. My mouse doesn't work. I took a bunch of photos. Oh, by the way, a couple of days ago, I did take some photos of Ramon. For anybody who might have missed that, he's gonna be up and listed soon. Actually, I cannot wait to have him listed. I also took some extra photos of him. I really do like some of the photos. Oh, whoa. And oh, okay. See, this is a lot faster. I like this. Okay, this is a really cute photo. I wonder, there we go. That's how we zoom in. That's adorable. I love that one. There were plenty of photos like this that I took for the photo shoot. But, you know. Alright, there we go. So fun story here. Oh, here we go. We're at the event now. Oh, while I was downtown in Atlanta, I saw pictures of Tortuguita. I met him during an anarchist-led street medic first aid training, and he was just a joy to talk with. I always wanted to see him again, but I couldn't get downtown simply because I didn't have the money to take myself at the time. And then I got a new job, and I was like, okay, I want to commit to organizing again. Let me just get my funds in order. And I think it was around January when I found out that, he was assassinated by Atlanta PD. And, like, I had to take a few minutes to myself, and I finished working, but I was sad. I miss him every day. Oh, I did go stop by at a pizza shop and take a nap. That was fun. Yeah, I didn't do location tagging. I don't location tag my photos. Oh, this was the food that they had at the cultural event. It was so good. These are some of the announcers and the performers. And, okay, this is where we get into the art. Yeah, So it shows the artists and their artwork, and the displays were so pretty. Like, I am genuinely proud of Tortuguita. I am genuinely proud of so many of the pieces. There is like a Canva of this, if I can find it. I don't have my history synced to this PC. Can it detect other devices, bookmarks, and lists? Yeah, okay. I can't really do that. I can't sign into Canva though. Okay. It says it's signing me in. Okay, hopefully it shows the stuff that I liked. Oh, there we are. Um, does it show my favorites? Whoa, okay. Huh. Yeah, I thought there was a way to find your favorites in Canada. Because I really want to show you guys the artwork. Okay, projects. Hmm. I don't know. I'll see if I can link it to myself. Because I know it's in my history somewhere, and I really want you guys to see the artwork up close. Now we're gonna go to Chrome. Alright, am I signed into chat here? Here we go, I am. Chat. There we go. There we go. I left a bunch of reactions and stuff here. Oh, go away. Light controls. I'm gonna, hold on. I'm gonna bookmark this. There we go. Atlanta to Gaza, globalize the global intifada. And you see, this was a collaborative zine with ATL Radical Art, Black Alliance for Peace, and Artists Against Apartheid, which I think is pretty cool. And this was where I went yesterday. This zine was created during the 5 art workshops / political education sessions. We, ATL Radical Art, Black Alliance for Peace, Atlanta Artists Against Apartheid, hosted between June 2nd to 29, 2024. Wow, and they created a lot of stuff at that time. Your own collective scene? Okay, that's really pretty. And there's a QR code here as well. ATO Radical Art. So I signed up with ATO Radical Art to paint some reborn dolls as a part of an exhibit. I'll probably auction them or sell them off to raise funds for Palestine, but I did wash two kits and put them to the side. Unfortunately, that means Parker's reborn that I'm painting for him was packed up and put away. So, that'll be put to the side for now, but hopefully that'll be okay in the long run. I really want to do something special for this. Um, Artists Against Apartheid. Wow, I've wanted to do stuff with them before, too. I need to scan that QR code and get in contact with them, honestly. And I've been following Black Alliance for Peace Atlanta for years now, so it was good to touch base with them in person. And look, they have all of the art pieces and the people's names and their pronouns. The martyr is immortal. My name is remembrance. A word whispered under my breath, warming my face pressed to the floor. An angel thus more taught me this moment. Some thousands of years before, a soldier had me pressed to the perimeter, to the pavement, and said he owned my body and soul. I wish I knew where my glasses were. Oh, where's my glasses case? Oh, right here. I wanted to die right then. A flower cracked through the concrete and whispered against my cheek, "Thank you. Your blood will feed my roots more. I will take your soul home." I pressed my forehead forward in gratitude. The soldier is dead now. I pressed the poem into your palm. My name on your lips. Every Sahud at sunset. By Hire. Very sweet. Look! It's Turtle Island. For those of y'all who don't know, Turtle Island is often what the collective indigenous land of the United States of America is referred to, at least before America colonized everything. I'm glad decolonial movements are still happening in indigenous communities. Palestine will be free. Good job, Annie. Solidarity. Sudan, Haiti, Congo, Cuba, Palestine, Atlanta. We are the people. Find the truth and print it. Revolt, we say. Revolt again. Good job, Eva. Stop the violent exchange. End the delay now. Oh, for those of you who don't know, that's the name of the training program in which Israeli soldiers train our cops and we train their cops, and they go back and cause absolute chaos and havoc. Havoc. Cop City, Congo, Sudan, Cuba. Just talk about it. Yemen. When we lose our fear, they lose their power. That was awesome. I loved that. Strike down the empires. The collapse. We will not stop. We will not rest. Boycott, sanction, and divest. Kind of wish there was a way to rotate them. The daily stagger of prison doors, executions, and snuff films, and making chatter with clauses with no uprising. I've had enough. No reform will make idyllic life. The system needs your subjugation. Being idle is not ideal, nor seeking idols for salvation. Will you live in fear? Our numbers organized have control against corporations in the state that have a lock upon our souls. Lost to the waves, rise up, slay juggernauts and Levithians. Do you have a solution? Nay, an example that hasn't taken violence? No, you don't. Oh. Sudan and Congo. Yemen. Liberation in our lifetime. Our struggles are interconnected. Shake it up until we are all free. In memory of Tortuguita, stop Cop City. Everywhere, everywhere. A lot of these are just really cool. I love them. I wish I knew who they were, but this is really good art. A decade of change. What's for dinner? Europe. That's one of my favorites. Good job, Larion. You did a great job. Don't belittle what one person can do. Even the biggest movements start with a few. The world will never be the same when the smallest spark can start a flame. Burn the empire, nourish the land. Viva, viva Tortuguita. Killing the flowers will not delay spring. Amen. What are our demands? Black power. Women hold up half the sky. Free Congo, Sudan, and Haiti. Liberate. I like this one. I wonder who she is. I want to know. The president is powerless. There's no magic wand to end the war, but his veto keeps it going. I don't understand American football. Saw number 15 score and Israel bomb 1.5 million. Same screen. Who won? Imperial math. What's the exchange rate? 200 divided by 4. Does that sound right? That's 50. 200 divided by 4. Laying a foundation built upon love for ourselves and a knowledge of the sacrifices that went before and all we have endured. From the river to the sea, honor the Palestinian resistance and those who were martyred. We'll move on over you. That's cool. Sow the seeds of resistance. Beautiful. Radicalize the kids. We are lightning in the storm. Radical South reproductive care. I sound Basak. We are the conscious builders of history and progress. We are the destroyers of imperialism. We are the people. What it takes. Look, what? Look past the fire, the explosions, and the chaos. The performance becomes a mirror revealing a possible future for humanity. Respect and let them live the way they are born. They are naturally born to in the first place. Even the biggest movements start with a few. Community over cops. Unity is the answer. A simple movement can make a big effect. We want power. Oh, talk about Palestine, Congo, Sudan, Yemen, Cuba, Cop City. Just talk about it. Oh, from ATL to Palestine. Our struggles are intertwined. That's a peach, by the oh, that's a peach, by the way. Fruit spills out the corners of my imagination, revolutionizing the world, liberation, our final destination, expelling capitalism and exploitative trepidation, dying colonialism, rebirthing of sovereign nations, opening borders, Mother Earth replacing lost reparations, freedom. ATL remembers our martyrs. Musa made this. They did a good job. I love them. ATL remembers our martyrs. I remember Anthony Hill. I remember Alexia Christian. I remember Rashad Brooks. I remember Kendrick Johnson. I remember Nicholas Thomas. I remember Tortuguita. I remember the Atlanta child murders. Ah! I remember Kathleen Johnson. I remember Oscar Kane. I remember Johnny Holman. ATL remembers our martyrs. We fight to stop Cop City because we remember and we will never let each other nor the enemies of the people forget. Okay. That was good. So yeah, you see those portraits all over this wall. All over these display boards. Oh, yeah. One of my favorite pictures was the one with the sunny angel that said Free Palestine. precious. Hello, baby. But yes, that picture is good. Honestly, the mood lighting was also really nice. Jews for a free Palestine. Amazing. Oh, yeah, they had these little spray things. Unfortunately, it rained, so we couldn't do spray paint, but we could paint stencils using these. And I made that one, someone else made that one, and a few people made a few others. I'm pretty sure I painted one that said Magbar America. Back stencils, they're so cool. Uh, I guess this is an example of what they made with the back stencils. These are pretty cool. These fruits fight. Free Palestine. Stop Cop City and Galay. Or protect students. Equality for all. Gaza and Atlanta. That was one of my favorite pictures ever. I wish I took a better photo of it. TL to Palestine. Our struggles are combined. I also love the turtle with the watermelon. But yeah, I got to speak with ATO. Okay, these are some of the vendors. I bought a drink from her. I told her that I organized with PSO. I hope we get the link up in the future. I love this lady's shop. I follow most of these people on Instagram now. I have got to get back to using Instagram more often. 20%. Oh, I checked out a book from the Rifat Alilir mobile library. It's this book. I want to see how much of this I can read on stream. See, if anybody wants to scan this code, this QR code, you can do that. Here, let me make it bigger so then you guys can actually scan it. 1979 to 2025. 3. If I must die, let it bring hope. I love you, Rifat. I don't know, man. This was really touching. Oh yeah. Kelly's really nice. Like, all of this was just really beautiful. Here are some of the Instagram handles if y'all want to check out those. Whoa, okay, that's really big. My fingers are a bit dirty. I'm sorry about that. I didn't wash them though. They're really clean now. That's an information about the founder here. They have a radio station in that place. And these were some of the performances. Those are the Soul Brothers. I've seen them perform before. They performed at Tortuguita's Wake, his celebration of life. They're awesome. It's always good to see them. I don't know. It was just really awesome. But yeah, that's it for now. Now we can do some zine reading. Okay, this one is very tiny. I met one of my longtime mules, Half Atlanta. He taught me how to make a zine, and I made this zine with him. It was the last sheet of paper they had, and I feel awesome. Speaking of which, there are so many zines. The crisis of Haiti is a crisis of imperialism. And it's just like, it's so much information. I will probably be reading this all throughout the month as I work on painting those reborn dolls for that art exhibit. But I want to take a look at this zine. This is called Queer Voices Forum, the Fight for Palestinian Liberation. What do any of you... Hold on. I want to make sure you guys can actually see it properly. It seems like you can, but I'm going to get another light. Sorry, I know I probably should have done this earlier, but I might have gotten a little excited and gotten a little ahead of myself. Let's unplug this, especially since we don't need it. What do any of you know of my Palestine, of the late night queer parties in Ramallah, of raves held in biblically aged buildings, of lesbians in hijabs, of gay men in hoop earrings, of trans Palestinians dancing with joyful abandon? We fear Israel first, before our families always. We're 100 times more likely to die at the hands of an Israeli gun or bomb than by Western propagandized ideas of honor killings. I've seen white Christian Americans wish their child be dead rather than gay. Israel is the one that weaponizes the homophobia that queer people all over the world of all religions experience to justify murdering Palestinians of all kinds, young and old, Christian and Muslim, queer and straight. By Zahir Sabon. Alright, a liberatory demand from queers in Palestine, November 9, 2023. Oh, hello, Cleo. Eat your snack. Eat your snack, girl. Please eat your snack. Eat your snack. You want your snack? Okay. I'm sorry, I just need to make sure my dog is settled. It's okay, Cleo. We have plenty of snacks for you to help yourself soon. She's gonna help herself. A liberatory demand for queers in Palestine, November 9th, 2023. We rise as workers, students, farmers, parents, as Palestinians, as queer Palestinians. We write this not because our queerness exceptionalizes our positions, but because, in the same way we have been othered as queers, we're now facing patriarchal colonial tactics that seek to further alienate us as queer Palestinians. To gather our words and energies require an enormous effort. We are sickened that amidst these moments of spectacular brutality and crime projected onto Palestinian bodies, including rape, torture, mutilation, and maiming, we are diverted from grieving and organizing to make a demand. Since October 7th, we have been witnessing an accelerated genocide unfolding in the Gaza Strip and in all parts of Palestine, blatantly and publicly declared on numerous occasions by Israeli governmental and military figures. The brutality and lethal magnitude of the atrocities committed by the Israeli state and its supporters produce increasingly harrowing conditions for those who remain alive in Palestine. Every day, everywhere. This brutality has been sustained through the continued economic, military, diplomatic, and political support of world leaders historically and presently. We note, document, and narrate the hundreds of catastrophic massacres for the past 75 years at the hand of the annihilatory wrath of the Zionist regime. From Deir Yassin to the Tantra Massacre, 1948, upon which Israel's foundation is based, to the Kafir Qassam Massacre, 1956, the Sabra and Shatila, 1982, and this is just to name a few. There is no possibility of any liberatory, political, and social movement to achieve life and dignity if it is aligned with the genocidal death machine of Israel. Israel is founded on blood and is sustained through blood. During these times, and in line with its long-standing exploitation of liberal identity politics, Israel has been weaponizing queer bodies to counter any support for Palestine and any critique of its settler colonial project. Israeli politicians, organizations, and civilians have been mobilizing colonial economies such as civilized and barbaric, human, an animal, and other dehumanizing binaries as a discourse that legitimizes the attack on Palestinians. Within this settler colonial rhetoric, Israel seeks to garner and mobilize support from Western governments and liberal societies by portraying itself as a nation that respects freedom, um, diversity, and human rights that is fighting a monstrous and oppressive society, illuminated clearly through the declaration of the Prime Minister of Israel. There is a struggle between the children of light and children of darkness, between humanity and law of the jungle. While these blatantly racist genocidal declarations take the stage, activists in Palestine and internationally are being silenced, harassed, detained, criminalized, workers fired from their jobs, and students suspended from universities. In solidarity with Palestine, are facing attacks and harassments by Zionists under the premise that those who support Palestine will be raped and beheaded by Palestinians for merely being women and queers. Yet, more often than not, rape and death are what Zionists wish upon queers and women who stand in solidarity with Palestine. Zionist fantasies of brutalized bodies do not surprise us, for we have experienced the reality of their manifestation on our skin and spirit. Yet they never cease to accelerate in their explicit vehemence. It becomes ever more absurd when such framings are constructed against Palestinian society. In light of countless testimonies, reports, and documentations of sexual violence Palestinians have been facing throughout Israel's 75 years of military occupation, from the thousands of Palestinian prisoners, men and women who are subject to sexual torture and rape since Israel's inception to this very day, to daily and escalating settler violence against Palestinians in the West Bank, to Israeli civilians filming themselves joining kidnapped Palestinians as a TikTok trend, and the most recent harrowing footage published on social media platforms by Israeli soldiers which document the lanes of torture and sexual abuse soldiers and settlers inflict on our bodies regardless of their sexual orientation and gender. All forms of violence, including sexual violence, are systematically and structurally part of Zionist domination over Palestinian life. Yet Israeli society continues to weaponize queerness for the purposes of justifying war and colonial repression, as if their bombs, apartheid walls, guns, knives, and bulldozers are selective of who they harm based on sexuality and gender. We refuse the instrumentalization of our queerness, our bodies, and the violence we face as queer people to demonize and dehumanize our communities, especially in service of imperial and genocidal acts. We refuse that Palestinian sexuality and Palestinian attitudes towards diverse sexualities become parameters for assigning humanity to any organized society. We deserve life because we are human with a multitude of our imperfections and not because of our proximity to colonial modes of liberal humanity. We refuse colonial and imperialist tactics that seek to alienate us from society and alienate our society from us on the basis of our queerness. We are fighting interconnected systems of oppression, including patriarchy and capitalism, and our dreams of autonomy, community, and liberation are inherently tied to our desire for self-determination. No queer liberation can be achieved with settler colonialism, and more queer solidarity can be fostered if it stands blind to the racialized capitalist, fascist, and imperial structures that dominate us. There we go. Let's get you another snack. Here's something else to eat. We call on queer and feminist activists and groups around the world to stand in solidarity with the Palestinian people in their resistance to displacement, land theft, and ethnic cleansing in their struggle for the liberation of their lands and futures from Zionist settler colonialism. This call cannot be answered only by sharing statements and signing letters, but by an active engagement with the colonial and liberatory struggles in Palestine and around the globe. Our unequivocal demands are as follows: reject Israeli funding, refuse collaborations with all Israeli institutions, and join the BDS movement. Strike, silently or publicly, refuse that your exploited labor be used for the silencing of Palestine activism or the funding, support, and endorsement of military settler colonialism and genocide. Do what anti-colonial queers have done for decades. Reclaim the narrative and set the terms of the conversation, this time about Palestine. What is happening in Palestine is genocide. Israel is a settler colony. Palestinians are a militarily occupied and colonized society. Under international law, Israel does not have the right to defend itself against the population it occupies, while Palestinians have the right to resist their occupation. Demanding ceasefire is the first step in holding Israel accountable for its crimes against humanity. We must also demand to break the siege on Gaza and the dismantlement of the Zionist settler colony. Contact your local representatives to pressure them into defunding the genocide, ending their military, diplomatic, and political support with Israel. Speak up against the ongoing and complicit criminalization of solidarity with Palestine and the colonial and Islamophobic projection of European anti-Semitism on Palestinian and racialized voices, as we are witnessing particularly in France, the UK, the US, and Germany. Shut down main streets. Organize a sit-in your local central station. Interrupt the flow of commerce. Complacency is a choice. We, queer Palestinians, are an integral part of our society, and we are informing you. From the heavily militarized alleys of Jerusalem to Hurawa's scorched land, to Jaffa's surveilled streets, and cutting across Gaza's besieging walls, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. It says, visit queersinpalestine.noblogs.org for the full list of signatories and translations. Gay travel, or music makes the people come together. Kyle Carrero Lopez. The gays want to know how B's trip to the settler colony lived. He said, what can I say? It was a lot like the settler colony where I live, but with a great desert flair. Street life was fabulous over there. The city's rainbow flags were a school of fish, plentiful sky, slick in their side winds. A shield of gills turned one large gill. B slid through security checkpoint after security checkpoint, each playing a different air of Madonna. All over town, men held each other's hands and not hands and smiled. Some lived on high rises far from Gaza, where they were or how or who was below. Cleo! Oh, Cleo, please. I'm trying to read. Here, doggy. Here's a snack. You want this snack? Will you go fetch the snack? Oh. Parties every night. At the club, B met a twunk in a harness who would shout things like, we're so lucky to be alive, as in under the molly, under the red lights, under the ceiling, under the missile defense system, and not over there where like smog gay hate hugs the air. But this one queer kept trying to interject. There's queers on the fringes too, he'd start. Queers tear gas, queers shot, in self-proclaimed self-defense. While club queers chose which tank, which crossbody back to wear. And each time he'd begun to speak, the EDM would just keep playing louder and louder, almost like the DJ was doing it on purpose. Okay. Yeah, here's a story. During the Palestinian Nakba, my parents were forced out of their land to Lebanon. Later on, my family immigrated to France during the Lebanese Civil War. The only thing Grandpa got from the house before fleeing was the key and a picture of him and Grandma in front of their house. He would always talk about Jaffa oranges, his house in the Mediterranean Sea. I grew up wanting to know how I am, where I'm originally from, so in 2017, I decided to search for my grandparents' original house in Old Jaffa. Long story short, with the help of Palestinians living there, we found the stairs that used to lead to my grandfather's house. We found the house. We found the lighted window, which was once a kitchen window. As a queer Palestinian, the only time I felt angry and broken about seeing a pride flag was when I saw it flying on grandparents' house on my stolen land. Okay. Let's see. Do we want to read this one? I do have a question. How long have we been live? I think it's been for about an hour. Maybe not even that. Oh, only 39 minutes? Okay, we can read one more. Beyond propaganda, pinkwashing as colonial violence. Over a decade ago, Palestinian activists adopted the term pinkwashing to describe how the Israeli state and its supporters use the language of gay and trans rights to direct international attention away from oppression of Palestinians. Israeli travel guides and promotional videos advertise Tel Aviv beaches as a gay-friendly getaway destination and hide the reality that tourist partygoers are dancing atop the ruins of ethnically cleansed Palestinian villages. The open inclusion of gay officers in the Israeli occupation army is used as proof of liberal forward-mindedness, but for Palestinians, the sexuality of the soldier as a checkpoint makes little difference. They all wield the same guns, wear the same boots, and maintain the same colonial regime. That is true. Um, let's see. I think I am going to finish reading this, whether it's on stream or off stream. I don't know, but it's very wordy. So this is from the Rifat Alalier mobile library, and how it works is that you check out when they're stationed up, and in 2 weeks or so, they message you to see if you can drop the book off at their next location, or you can send it back to their PO box, which is what I'm planning to do. I think I'm going to see if I can read a story from here. Hmm. Hmm. Let's see. Note about some of the words used. There are a handful of terms in Gaza right back which may be unfamiliar to the reader. It is customary for men and women to be given an honorific name as the father or mother of their oldest son, Abu meaning father of, and meaning mother of. Thus, a couple who have had a son named Samir may be called Abu Samir and Samir by family, friends, and acquaintances. Less commonly, someone may be named after his or her oldest daughter if he or she doesn't have a son, or the moniker may be given even if a person doesn't have a child. Palestinian children may use various names to address their parents. In this book, you'll find Mama and Baba, the equivalent of mom and dad. Kufia is the traditional checkered cloth worn as a scarf or headdress in Palestine and other Arab countries, where it may be known by other names. I have a kufia. It's definitely worse for wear. It's on this table. Maybe someday I'll get it out and use it, but for now, it's kind of just here. Maybe, maybe I should wash this station. Eid is the Arabic word for holiday. Eidia is a holiday gift, usually money given to children. The Shahada is the Muslim declaration of faith. The Nakba, meaning catastrophe, is what Palestinians call their forced expulsion from their homeland as a result of the declaration of the State of Israel in 1948 and the seizure of Palestinian lands. UNRWA is the United Nations Relief and Works Agency. The United Nations body established after 1948 to provide relief to the Palestinian refugees from that year on a temporary basis until they could return to their homes. The stories. I don't know. I'm not sure where to start. Theo. Let's read this one. I feel bad for not wanting to read a lot on stream, but the doggy is being fussy. Spared by Rawan Yagi. The electricity was out. There was no studying to do, and we were bored of staying at home. My neighbors and my friends went out for a football match. I wasn't allowed out because my mother was preparing lunch and it was almost done. I stood on the balcony watching my friends kicking the ball to each other and acting like famous football players when they scored a goal, spreading their arms like eagles and running around screaming, "Goal!" I stood there, cheering whenever my best friend Ahmed scored. Lunch seemed to take forever. I looked back. Mom was putting plates on the table. She looked at me and smiled serenely. She knew how much I wanted to go out and that I was staying because she made me. Come on, Mom, hurry. Ahmed is scoring all the goals, I complained. Almost done, dear. You won't be able to play on an empty stomach with you, she said sweetly. I gave her a grumpy face and went back to watching the huge match. I rested my chin on the edge of the balcony, pulled my arms back, and kept my feet on the small blue plastic stool which my mother bought exactly for that purpose. She said I didn't need more than 10 centimeters to be able to view the street. Anything higher than that would cause a tragedy that no one in the family or the neighborhood, especially me, wanted to see. She terrified me with stories about children who climbed to the balcony and ended up in the street with all sorts of broken bones. My little mind, of course, believed every single word she said, and I was always cautious not to dangle my head and arms when I climbed the balcony on the precious little stool. A man who sees the laurel in the match looked up at me and gestured a question. I shook my head and yelled, "Not yet!" The kids laughed at me and went back to their ball. In a second, a huge light flashed right in front of me, and I was thrown back to the wall of the kitchen and then to its floor. Bricks hit the ground and smashed glass followed seconds later. My knees and hands were shaking, and I couldn't stand up for a moment. There was a strange noise in my ears that sounded like a very annoying non-stop whistle. Smoke was covering me. My mom ran to me crying hysterically. She checked every part of my body to make sure I wasn't hurt. Then she hugged me. But I did not care. I wanted to see what happened to my friends. She immediately pulled herself up and carried me out of the house because smoke kept rushing in. My hands were shaking and my mind couldn't let go of the fact that all my friends were playing in the street seconds ago. In a minute, my mother and I were standing in the middle of the street trying to breathe some oxygen, but all we were doing was gulping cement-filled air and coughing it back. As the smoke faded away, we could finally breathe air that smelled like fireworks. Then my mother realized we were standing in the spot where the game was taking place. She didn't know where to go. She kept walking in circles while holding my head above her shoulder, close to her neck. I saw my friends lying on the ground, all of them. Hamed was thrown on top of his cousin. His head was torn open. Aunt Ahmed saw him as well from the front of her house and started screaming. My mother was still hugging me as hard as her scratched arms could. Ahmed rushed to the street, screaming, carried her son, and hurried for any of the ambulances whose sirens were wailing in the distance. She couldn't get further than a few meters. She collapsed to the ground, still crying, still holding her son, and then she fainted. Ahmed's dad rushed after her. He carried Ahmed and started running. He too couldn't go on. He fell down. By then I was weeping hysterically along with my mother, who kept carrying me and pulling my head back. She did not want me to get closer to my friend. She wanted to cover my eyes from all the flesh scattered here and there. The neighbors carried Ahmed and rushed with his dangling body to an ambulance. They took his mother to one of the neighbors' houses. Uncle Abu Ahmed stood in the middle of the street while people were collecting rubble and evacuating the injured. He stood there, staring at Ahmed's blood and brain on the cement. My father and others tried to pull him away, but he kept resisting them. Later, I had to be rushed to the hospital, too. As it turned out, I was injured. Ahmed was gone. The others haunted me with their blaming looks every day I went to school. I couldn't look at them. Amputated limbs, scarred faces, limping gaits. Our neighborhood was blown to smithereens in a split second. No more games were played. No more goals. No more cheering. And my friends grew up in 1 second. They no longer looked at me the same way they used to before the off the day. They wouldn't come out to play. And they had a distant look, like Uncle Abu Ahmed when he looked at me, like I didn't understand. Like they knew something I did not know. Like I did something wrong. Oh. That's a lot. That was an important story. It was hard to listen to, but I'm glad I read it. It's important to read stories, even the hard ones. Okay. I think before I log out for today, I want to show you the kits that I want to paint for the ATL Radical Art exhibit. So the next exhibit is going to be about Christianity and colonialism. And I wanted to paint two portraits of the baby Jesus. One that was African and one that was Palestinian. So those are the two kits that I chose. That's Real Born Darren, and I think this is Maya. I don't remember the name of the sculptor, but it's they both have COAs. Although I will admit that I noticed that while washing this one had some birth marks of some sort. Like there are imperfections in the vinyl, but that's okay because these are gonna be ethnic babies, and I'll be able to turn those into birthmarks of sorts. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. I'll probably mat them tomorrow. I probably should have washed them with a cleaner sponge, but oh well. I don't know. I think that's about it. I know, little doggy. No, little doggy. But yeah, that's about it for now. I'll see if I can read some of the zines off stream and see what I feel like reading on stream. I hope you guys enjoyed looking at all of the stuff that I showed you from the exhibit yesterday. I had a lot of fun. And next time I'll see you, I don't know if it'll be later this week or not. I will hopefully have made progress with matting the dolls and starting to paint them. Cleo, come here. Oh, little girl. We'll probably do some more reading later on as well. We'll take it a little bit at a time, really. But yeah, let's see who we're gonna raid. Cleo. Cleo. There's no easy way to keep that dog quiet, I tell ya. Let's see who we're gonna raid right now. T-Pain. Okay, I guess we're raiding T-Pain tonight. Awesome. Okay, you guys be nice to T-Pain. He's a big producer. He's awesome. He's like, look, if you don't know T-Pain, you're missing out. Alright, I think that's about it. In any case, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a great night. Good night. I love you. Ooh. Wow. Yeah. Happy baby. Yeah.